Hey, what's going on, guys? Got a package in the mail today, and I've been looking forward to these items for a while now. Now I can start making some new sharpening videos for you guys. So here's what came in the mail today. Yep, this bolt right here. So we got a bolt, and this piece right here looks like a riser block made out of aluminum. It's gonna go right under those jaws there. And the new arms, here they are. Here's one of them. Has a nut on it. Here's the other one. So how do you put these arms in here? Or what's the difference between these two arms? Well, I see the new arms are larger in diameter. That is a plus right there, because we all know that there's a slight amount of movement inside the stones. So thanks for listening to us about that. And then those arms attached to these new ball cup joint. There is going to be no movement in here, whereas these, they do have some movement, some unwanted movement, and you have to adjust the way you sharpen to get the angles, the exact angles you want. But these eliminate that. There's no room for user error now. The Wicked Edge with these arms is going to be the ultimate sharpener in the world. The Wicked Edge is already the best sharpener in the world, but this just makes it better. So let's see if I can get this set up so I can sharpen a knife that came in today for sharpening. Spyderco Resilience 4.25 inch blade. This thing is large. He wanted me to even up the relief edge. See, this side has a large relief edge, and then it gets narrower towards the tip, and then this side has a narrow relief edge, so he wants me to make it even. He wants a large relief edge, so I'll just put a 15-degree per side angle on here. So let's see if I can get this set up real quick. Okay, I'm going to first start by taking off the old arms. So I need to take this clamp off so I can put this block underneath it. So to do that, you'll need to remove the bottom screws of the vise. So with the bottom screws taken out, you can now lift the Wicked Edge off the platform. Next, you'll need to remove the Allen screw to take off the clamp. So after you take out that left screw, it comes off of the vise. You can take this off, and you'll go ahead and put the block on. And then while you have the clamp off, you might as well clean all those metal shavings out of there. Make sure that the clamp sits on there evenly, and then you'll need to use this screw to go through the block, because the screw that's in there is too short. So use a larger screw, and then that will screw into the clamp. Alright, now that I've put the clamp on there and I've screwed the bolt in most of the way, now you'll run into some movement, left and right movement of the vise. Alright, and the base or the block also moves. So whenever you tighten this down, you want to make sure that it's either all the way over to the left or center it the best you can, but just do not put it all the way over to the right, because it already changes the angle on thicker blades. So you'll be best off to move it as far over to the left as you can and go ahead and tighten that bolt down. Alright, because the center line, it gets pushed over slightly on thicker blades. Let's say you have a 1/4 inch thick blade and you're sharpening at 20 degrees. You're actually going to have to set on this side, you're going to have to set it to 22 degrees. Because if you set them both to 20, you're going to be sharpening this at 20 and this side at 18. So you want to press the center line over as far as you can, so that way when you're sharpening you'll get it evened up. Alright, I want to show you an example of how the angle changes depending on the thickness of the blade you're sharpening. When I push this block all the way over to the left, the angle I measured is 27 degrees and this side is 26 degrees. And when I move this over to the right, this one is at 26 degrees and this one is at 27. Now if you put it somewhere in the middle, they'll both be 26 degrees. And I have this set up right now at 25 degrees. So it's probably best to move it all the way over to the left, and then you'll still have to adjust your angle depending on the blade thickness, but it won't be as much as it usually would. And another thing, there's a slight movement in this block right here, and then there's a slight movement where the vise sits in that block, and both of them together offer quite a bit of combined movement. So what you'll want to do before you tighten this down is press both the block and the vise downward and then pull it over to this side. So you want to push that way and pull over, so that way you'll line it up with this part of the platform here, and they'll both be at 0 degrees. So you pull down and push over and then tighten the bolt down. That way everything is straight the way it should be. And you'll know if you did it right by holding it up to the light and verifying that there is an even gap in between the block. See that gap there? And then on the front, there's not going to be a gap. It should be completely sealed. See, there is no gap there. Well, now that I've got everything set up, I was about to put the arms on, and then I noticed the finish on the arms. You can see the new arms is slightly thicker, but look at the surface, very rough and very not smooth. Let me show you what I'm. So here's the factory arm with the stone on it. You can see that it slides very smoothly, but there is a lot of play. Now Wicked Edge made larger arms right here to lessen the amount of play in the stones. See, there's barely any play at all. But these are very rough. Like, you can hear the sound it makes. Very rough. And here's the original arms. Very smooth. So, since you guys know that I have to have everything perfect I'm going to go ahead and polish the arms. I'm going to go ahead and polish these up, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll show you what I come up with. So here's a close-up of what the arms look like now. And then I've got one of them in a drill. I'm going to see what I can do with just some Mother's mag polish. I'm not going to go directly to the sandpaper yet, but I will if the mag polish doesn't work. Alright, I got one polished, and all I did was tape the end of it. I taped the end with the threads. So I put some tape around it and stuck it in the drill, tightened it down real good, and as you can see, it didn't affect the threads at all. And I just put some of this billet metal polish on a microfiber cloth and spun it at a high speed for a few minutes, and now we've got a nice mirror polished rod. It's a lot smoother than the one that came with it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one now. Alright, now I got them both polished. Now they're even better than the old arms. Now let's put them on. Now that's more like it. It moves freely on the rod. No friction. Hear that? Silence. Nice. And just for reference, the new arms are 6.35 millimeters thick and the old arms are 6.00 millimeters thick. Well, I went ahead and screwed the rod into the assembly right here and tried to slide it on, and I'm not having any luck, and this is backed out to where it's not in the way. And I actually remember reading that this had happened to some people, so I guess I'll have to figure out how to fix this. So it slides on there and then gets stuck. So let's see. Oh, I see what's wrong. I measured everything, and then I looked at that. You can see that the bottom of this square rod right here it has a belly to it. You can see it gets thicker in the middle there on both sides. It starts to get thicker about right here, and then it starts to get narrow about right here. So I guess I gotta take this off and see what I can do. Alright, here's a look at what is wrong. You see that on the left side of the square there is a hump where it didn't get machined completely, and it's only on the left side where it's slightly raised there. Everything else looks square, so it should be an easy fix. Alright, I took the Dremel and evened that out. You only have to sand down this side, the side with the holes. It's almost as if the holes were pressed in and it made the steel flare out on this side. I tried to use sandpaper on a sheet of glass, and I was breaking a sweat, and I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. So I took a Dremel to it, got it done within, I think it still took me an hour to do after I realized sandpaper wasn't working. So but do not think that this is required of you. I mean, Wicked Edge will replace this for you. You just send them an email and they will send you a new rod in the mail next day. So I wouldn't have done this had I not promised my friend I would sharpen his knife today. So there you go. Alright, I've got everything bolted down. Here's one last look at the old arms compared to the new arms. So I'm going to go ahead and put the old arms away, put the new ones on. Now you'll want to put it with the adjustable Allen hole on the outside along with these facing you, and you can just slide it on. And then you'll still adjust your knife or your angle settings just like you usually do. You can still line up the edge to the angle you want and then tighten it down. Right now I'm going to set it to 17 degrees. Everything's nice and solid. Now I don't know what I'll be using yet for a lubricant. I'll have to experiment, and I also need some rubber boots to put on there because you don't want metal shavings getting in those cups. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be making some new sharpening videos, and I'll let you know what's going on as it happens. It does look better with these new arms. I like that gold color. It makes it look more robotic. Makes it look cooler actually than these little arms. Makes it look stronger, more accurate, and it is more accurate. Very smooth. Very little play inside the stones compared to how much there was, and then there's no side to side movement or play, which is excellent. Very well worth it. And Clay, if you're watching this, I appreciate you for getting me these new arms to try out. Thank you very much. Look forward to sharpening some new knives with them. I'm sure they will come out better than they were before. See you guys. Alright, I've already put a magnet here and here to hopefully help draw away the shavings from going into the ball joint, which is very bad. And I think I originally said that the adjustment screw on the Allen wrench is going to be on the outside, but I think it's going to be on the inside. So the ball joints are going to be on the outside, like so. And if you push it all the way over this way, my digital angle finder read 17 degrees, so should be about right. But I have not adjusted this yet because this screws in and out, and that will adjust the angle also.